All right, so welcome to the mobility section. In this section, you will learn how to mobilize the body. Mobility is important, okay, because it is just doing exactly what the word means, mobilizing. So you want to mobilize the body, and the way we mobilize is during pre-workouts, right, or during days off, right? So we want to mobilize the body by opening up the fascia, by breaking up the fascia, breaking up that muscle tissue that's been broken down through exercise. And there's a lot of lactic acid pooling in there, stiffness in the joints, right, through the muscles, tightness in the muscles, misalignment that's happening through the muscles, through the muscular system, through the joints, and through your central nervous system, right, through your motions, everything. We store our issues in our tissues, so we need to mobilize our tissues to relieve your issues, right? So this could be stress from the environment, from the outside world, and of course from exercise. So all this needs to be brought together. This is the holistic approach to exercise, and this will guarantee that you're optimally ready to take on whatever that session is, whether it be heavy lifting, whether it be calisthenics, whether it be going for a run, doing some type of gymnastics, yoga, anything, even qigong, anything where you're about to move and you need to be a little more flexible. Mobility is the key, all right? So in this section, we're gonna explore the mobility. The first thing I do is I start off with my lower body, and what we're gonna do with the lower body exercise is I'm going to be using a PVC pipe. Okay, so this is the PVC pipe, and you can use a foam roller if you like, or something a little less solid. I like to use this because this is exactly what I need for my muscles. My muscles are a little denser, a little more. They can take a little bit more beating, and so that's why I use this. Right, some people don't have as dense tissue, and it might hurt a lot. Right, it might feel like it's going to the bones, and so I would recommend a lighter one for yourself. But if you're somebody who is used to foam rolling or has a little bit more dense tissue, this will help. You could also gradually transition to this. The less inflammation your body has, the less acidity, the less calcification it has, the less debris and buildup of scar tissue and trauma, essentially, then you'll be able to take something like this. It might be very painful at first, but afterwards it'll be a breeze and it'll actually be very therapeutic. So we're going to start here with mobilizing the anterior chain first. I like to start with the back, and then we're going to go into we're going to start with the posterior chain, and then we're going to move into the front, which is the anterior chain. Okay, so we want to be gentle. We want to be aware and conscious of what we're doing here. Okay, so I'm not looking for cracks. I'm not looking for adjustments. You may get adjustments. They might feel good, but the point here, the key here is to open up the upper back. We're going to go into it now. So I'm going to start with the upper back, and I'm going to try to keep my scapula, my shoulder blades tucked in so they don't get in the way. I'm going to go into Y. I'm going to go into a T. Even in this position, when you open your body up and you open up your arms, you're going to feel a different, you're going to find that there's different parts of your spine that get adjusted, right? And when you move around, you can move into your lats. So I like to go into the lat, right? Simply keep your hands above your head here, and you want to just open up, come down into the other side here. Okay, every time I'm rotating, I'm breaking up tissue in the lat, in the armpit, in the rear delt. Then we're going to move into hamstrings. So in the hamstrings, you want to carry a lot of your weight on the leg that you're sliding back and forth in. And so when you do this, you want to be a little bit more conscious and aware that that your hamstrings is going to be, you're breaking up a lot of tissue in the hamstrings. So if you have some tight hamstrings, this is a great exercise for the hamstrings, a great mobility and soft tissue rolling, right, to break up that tissue, to lengthen, elongate the muscle. This kind of work could be done post-workout as well. So we're going to go hamstrings. Okay, go on the outside hamstring, middle, and the inside. We can do calves with this actually. We can go into the calves as well, depending how tight the calves are. Really good exercise for the calves. Okay. Inside, outside the calf. Okay, spending some time again, outside, middle, inside the calf, inside the calf. Okay. Glutes, I like to use the ball for this, but if you aren't as familiar or as used to it, then you can easily use the foam roller for the glutes. I like to tuck one like at the top here so I can put all the pressure on my glute. Again, I'm rotating, I'm mobilizing, I'm moving around. This is customized, okay? However much time you need to spend, you spend that much time until you don't feel like the muscle is in a lot of pain. At first, it might be a lot of pain, but then you gradually progress into it until there is no pain. This could take sessions, it could take weeks, it could take months for some people. I've been doing this for a long time, so it doesn't take very long for me. It just takes a couple of rolls. My body feels great. I'm not super tight. I'm usually pretty limber. So I don't need a whole lot of mobility, just enough to get me back to neutral, right? Where I'm not in pain when I move or when I bend. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the hip flexor. I like to rotate into the hip flexor, into the glute. Okay, so rotating into the hip flexor. Okay, maybe you're gonna go up and down a bit here on the hip flexor as well. Rotating as you're doing this as well. Don't be afraid to use your hands. Okay, use that other leg here as a kind of a balance point here. So here, okay. Once I spend some time there, we're gonna roll down to the quad. Okay. So inside the quad, all the way up, all the way down. We're going to go down the middle of the quad, spend as much time as you need. Outside of the quad. Other side of the leg, same concept. We're going to get the hip flexor. Start with the hip flexor first. Okay, I like to start here, just because this is where you need the most work. Most people spend most of their times sitting, driving, constantly bent over, constantly flexing or engaging these muscles, and they get very tight and they end up pulling your pelvis forward. So we are going to now go up and down with the hip flexor there, go on the inside, going down the middle, going down the outside bit, and take your time on it. Okay? We're going to go now into the inside of the quad. Okay, we're going to go into the middle of the quad. And bend that quad as you are stretching, so that you can elongate the muscle as you're going down. Same thing on the inside. Okay. Next, what I recommend is if you have this ball, one of these, again, it could be a lacrosse ball, it could be something smaller than this. It could be something bigger if you want, something softer. But I'm going to use this to get into the glutes. Okay? So this one will help get into the glute a little bit more. So it'll get a little more painful. But you can see here that. Well, when you feel it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it's definitely a different sensation than the roller. So again, getting in there, rotating, using your hand to pivot to create a bridge, right? So now, spend some time on there, right? Could be very painful, could feel very good, okay? Now we're gonna put this into the center, into your stomach. Okay, we're gonna go into the stomach. You're going to get the bladder. You're gonna put this ball into the bladder, okay? There's a triangle here. Belly button's here. You got your pelvic bone right in there. Triangle right in there. You're gonna spend some time in there, okay? Very important. Transverse abdominis, again, very tight. Essentially, you're just getting in there and you're breaking up any tissue, that muscle, loosening up the pelvis in the process, alleviating any pain in your lower back due to, again, tightness and stiffness in the anterior chain, meaning in the front. Okay, everything in the stomach from the pelvic floor all the way up to your rib cage, the psoas, becomes very tight. And when you have issues here from too much crunching, too much abs, every single day trying to get a six-pack in the gym, you end up putting a lot of tightness there and accumulating, which ends up giving you some low back issues, which could also have to do with a lot of your organ functions, right? But that's a different story, a different topic. For now, we start with the fascia, we start with the tissue at the muscular level, and from there, if we can't fix the issues, then we move on to the next level, right? But that's basically the mobilization through the using a foam roller or a PVC pipe and using a medicine ball, lacrosse ball, or something of this nature, okay?